And get in here. I forgot to put a title on this live. Oh, shoot. I know I told myself to make sure I do that. I forgot. Anyway, y'all, get in here. Let's have a conversation. Put yourself first, okay? And a part of putting yourself first is, first of all, if somebody is not willing to hurt people's feelings for you, you can't be in a relationship with them. They can't be your boyfriend. They can't be your girlfriend. They can't be your best friend. They can't be a close family member. They can't be nothing for you, okay? If somebody is not willing to hurt people's feelings for you, and what do I mean by hurt people's feelings for you? What I mean is stand up for you. What I mean is that when you're experiencing an injustice of any kind, or when you're being bullied, when you're being mistreated, when you're being abused for that matter, if they're not willing to stand up and say something on your behalf, you can't deal with them. That person who's like, well, you know what, that ain't my business. That's between y'all. Y'all handle it. You know, I'm staying out of it. Baby, that's a cop-out. That's a full-on, full-ass cowardly cop-out. Because the reality is this. If someone truly loves you and they have proximity to you and proximity to the person who's inflicting pain upon you, then guess what they have a responsibility to do? They have a responsibility to say something. Even if they can't stop the mistreatment or stop the abuse, they have a responsibility to say something. And for that matter, I'm going to take it a step further. They also have a responsibility to, what's his name? They also have a responsibility to, hold on. Let me just see here. Okay. They also have a responsibility to, I'm just clicking this little thing here to do something right quick. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, they also have a responsibility to, if need be, cut off the relationship with that person. Period. Because there's no way that I can love you, be your close friend, be your parent, be your sibling, be your best friend, be your cousin, be your anything like that. There's no way that I can be that to you and watch you be mistreated and still sit up here and be okie doke and friendly with somebody who's perpetrating the pain. Ain't no way around it. I'm that kind of person, okay? A friend to my friend is a friend to me. An enemy to my friend is an enemy to me. Period. Dot in the story. Okay? Why? Because my relationship with you matters so deeply to me that I recognize that I really betray my trust in you and I really sacrifice our relationship when I choose to remain close to somebody who's clearly hurting you, where the injustice is clear. I'm not talking about, no, y'all just had some little petty argument and there's two sides to every story. I'm not talking about that kind of shit. I'm talking about when there's a clear injustice taking place. There's no way I can remain close to that person. And what I'm telling you is this. That spouse, that person you dating, right? She said, why you sound like a girl? Well, Miss Star Cinnamon, I think is your name here. Sweetheart, you wanted my attention. And you got my attention as I block your ass. Bye, boo. So anyway, so there's no way to stand close to somebody. You see how much I love y'all? This person was sitting up here interfering with y'all's ability to get the good word today. And I said, no, ma'am. I can't let her do that to y'all today. So I stood up for y'all and I blocked her. You see what I did for y'all? But there's no way to experience that and let it be okay, right? You say, don't pay it no mind, girl. I'm not wired like that. You know, Michelle Obama say when they go high, you go, when they go low, you go high. You know, I don't buy that. I don't do that. I think that I agree with her intent, but I think that's actually a very toxic mindset because I think that it enables people, and I don't think her intent was to be toxic about it, but I think that it can be interpreted in a very toxic way because it enables people to hurt you. So people saying, oh, don't pay it no mind, don't let that bother you, blah, blah. No. If an injustice is being done, if somebody's aggravating your space, if somebody is affecting your mood, deal with them. Deal with them. Period. Dot in the story. Deal with them. Okay? I'm not saying all out get revenge on them. I'm saying do what you got to do, but deal with them. Don't you sit up here and sit in the pain of letting people hurt you, letting people aggravate you, letting people distract you, letting people do that kind of stuff and let them still keep access to you. Don't you sit up here and let people bully you and treat you poorly and you allow it to happen. Like somehow or another, that's a virtuous task. Hell no. And back to the point I was talking about, I know the person who said that, she wasn't saying anything negative. She was just, she was really trying to encourage me. She was trying to encourage me. But I'm just making my point around this, okay? And y'all know the deal. Write your questions in here. I'm going to answer. I'm going to skip the ones I don't want to answer. And if I don't see a question, I can see it, right? But my point is this, okay? I need y'all to think back on your life. There are people in your life right now where you have deep resentment towards them. You are angry towards them, and you're like, why do I feel this way towards them? They did not actually do anything to directly hurt me. Ask yourself this. Were they a party to you being hurt? Did they have access to it? Did they see it happening? Were they around while the hurt and the injustice was happening? And they did nothing but remain silent. Did they watch you being hurt and they did nothing to intercede on your behalf? Did they stay silent, for that matter, turn a blind eye to your pain simply because they wanted to maintain a relationship with the person who was hurting you? If that's the case, baby, you do have a reason to resent them. You just haven't processed it yet. But I'm going to help you process it today. Okay? What I'm here to tell you is this. In 2024, and for every year beyond this, we have to make it a priority to have relationships with people that we trust, and only the people that we trust. And how on earth can you trust someone who has proven to you that they can watch you experience pain, abuse, mistreatment, or anything like that and do nothing about it but remain silent? For that matter, they take it a step further and blame you for it. Well, there's two sides to every story, and I'm not going to get involved because that's between y'all, and I don't really know. And you thinking to yourself, two sides of every fucking story? What the fuck are you talking about? You can see that this is wrong. Anybody can see that this is wrong, but they try to mind fuck you. Think about this. They try to mind fuck you to question if right is right and wrong is wrong. Not because they actually believe you were wrong, but because it's easier for them to justify their inaction and their complicity with your pain by trying to make you believe that you're wrong. Right? I don't care who the person is. That person has proven to you that they choose themselves and they choose that other person more than they choose you. Right? Right? They have proven, hey Melba, they have proven that your pain, your healing, your healthiness, emotionally for that matter, is not a priority to them. They have proven that their relationship with that other person is more important than your relationship with them. Because here's the thing, a healthy person who desires healthy relationships can find a way to stand up for you and can find a way to be on your side, and also to hold that person accountable too. They can find a way to do that. They can find a way to say, you know what? Listen, I love both of y'all. I know I'm close to you and I'm close to you, but baby girl, what you did to her was trifling and awful. And it's an injustice. And just because she may not have the words or the courage to know how to tell you that you hurt her, I'm going to tell you this, it's wrong and you need to stop it. They can hold that other person accountable. They can do that and still have a relationship with you. But their lack of willingness to even hold the other person accountable, not because they think that what happened to you was right, but catch this, but because they simply want to stay on that other person's good side. Their willingness and their desire to stay on that other person's good side is more of a priority to them than actually standing in your corner. They literally have shown you that they choose that other person above choosing you. You have a right to cut off that relationship. I don't care who that person is. You have a right to say, I can't deal with this shit. And you know why you have a right to do that? Even if you forgive them, you have a right to do that because it is an act of abuse against yourself to allow someone to have continued close access to you who has proven that they will abuse that access. It is an abuse of access to you to watch someone hurt you and do nothing. That's like hiring someone or asking someone to house sit for you. You say, hey, I need you to house sit for me. Okay, I'm not going to be in town. I got my dogs, my cats, my jewelries, all that kind of stuff in my house. Please house sit for me. They come into your sacred space of your home. And then someone knocks at the door one night. Knock, knock, knock. They open the door. Oh, hey. Hey, how you doing, Steve? They know Steve. Steve's at the door. Who's Steve? Oh, Steve is a friend of theirs, and Steve is a friend of yours, too. Hey, Steve, yeah, Deborah's not home. And Steve says, well, do you mind if I come in anyway? Oh, yeah, come on in. And next thing you know, she looks over and she sees, hold on, Steve, what you doing there? Steve is taking your jewelry. What's Steve doing over there? Steve done kicked your dog. What's Steve doing over there? Steve's sitting over there making a mess in your house. And you know what she does? She lets Steve keep on doing it. And in fact, after Steve has done all this and he leaves and you come back home and you're like, what happened here? What happened to my house? Oh, girl, I don't know. Steve came back, but I don't know. I was in the other room. I wasn't paying no attention to what was going on. What? I gave you access to my sacred space and you let somebody in and you were aware that they were harming this space and you did nothing to stop them? And you had the ability and the placement to do so? You did nothing? Oh, girl, that's between you and Steve. You know, that's between y'all two. I'm not involved in that. What? But you had access. You had the ability to stop them. Or even if you couldn't stop them, you had the ability to at least hold them accountable. You had the ability to tell me what that person was doing. Baby, isn't it the ultimate act of betrayal? When somebody is aware that somebody is harming your sacred space, they're more aware than you are aware, and they still choose to do nothing. Baby, isn't that the ultimate act of betrayal? That's what it's like when you recognize that somebody who you gave access at the most sacred levels allow someone into your space, or they chose to remain in relationship with somebody who was harming you. And what I'm telling you is this: that is betrayal. What I'm telling you is this: that is the deepest levels of hurt and pain. What I'm telling you is this: is you have a right to cut them off. I don't care who they are. Absolutely. Forgive them when you're ready. Because forgiveness is a gift to yourself, but forgiveness does not mean continued access. Okay? You have a right. Right? Those two people who ain't hot or cold, they want to take both sides. Well, I'm gonna be in the middle and I don't know what's going on. You ever notice that? They be the main one who got an opinion on every motherfucking thing until it's got something to do with an injustice against you. When it's got to do with an injustice against you, then it's, I'm not taking sides. Why you take sides in everything else? Why? And y'all are naming in the chats people who've done this to you. You're naming siblings, you're naming friends, you're naming your partners or your spouses. Some of y'all are even naming your parents who've done this to you. And what I'm here to tell you is this: it is your codependency, it is your attachment issues, it is your stuff that is allowing you to disregard. Thank you so much, Miss Lioness09, for my badge. It is your stuff, your unresolved stuff, that's allowing you to continue to allow that person to have access to you. Because the reality is this: if somebody, let's say you was in a parking lot. I just heard this story the other day. Somebody said they had parked their car at this parking lot, right, to go do something. They come back. The security guard who was standing in the parking lot was still there, but their car had been broken into. They said, hold on, what happened to my car? The security guard said, yeah, some people be breaking in here, breaking into cars. And they said, well, you didn't see them do it? No, I ain't see nothing. You didn't stop them? No, I never saw nothing. But but you had access to do that and you chose not to. It is your trauma and your own stuff that makes you have compassion towards that person. Oh, well, maybe they were scared and they just didn't know what to say. Thank you so much, the Blindy and Barbie, for my badge. Right? To say, you create a whole narrative for them. Well, maybe they didn't know what to do. Maybe they were scared too. No. It was their job. by having access to you and access to the perpetrator to say something. And the whole thing is this. Why would you choose to be in a relationship? Thank you so much, Reynaro, for my badge. Why would you choose to remain? I love you too, Desi's Beats. Why would you choose to remain in a relationship with somebody who doesn't believe that it is their role, responsibility, duty in any way, shape, or form to open their mouth when you are experiencing injustice? Thank you, Casey Girl at Heart, for my badge. Why would you choose to remain in a relationship with that person if that person wholeheartedly believes I'm staying out of it? The fuck kind of relationship we gotta have? That you can watch me experiencing something negative and say nothing. I remember this. There is a family member that I have who I'm very close to. Speak to this person a lot. And this person is an elderly person. Like, not just elderly, but elderly, okay? So, this is not just somebody who I'm close to, but this is someone who also has a great degree of reverence within our family structure. And this particular person was having a conversation with me and was saying something negative to me about one of my boys. Thank you, Juanita and Miss Casa, for my badges. Was saying something negative to me about one of my boys, one of my nephew's sons. But on top of this shit, which made it even worse, they were saying something negative about them in their presence. It's one thing for you to come to me offline and be like, hey, I don't like this, I don't like that. Have your little critique or whatever. As a family, you have a right to have a critique, right? And share it with me, and then we can process it together. And then I can go to mine and share that critique with them if it's valid or valuable. You know what I'm saying? But they did it right in front of them. They were literally tearing down my baby right in front of my face. Baby, you know what I did in that moment, right then and there? I said, you were not going to speak to him like that. They said, well, I'm an elder. I can say what I want to say, blah, blah, blah. Thank you so much, the audacious one for my badge. I'm an elder. I can say what I want. I said, you can be whatever the hell you want to be, baby. You will not speak to mine like that in front of me. I guarantee you that much. That's not going to happen. I'm in disagreement. Oh, got so upset, got up in arms, everything like that. So, of course, everybody in the room looking at me all kinds of crazy. My baby looking at me all kinds of crazy, like, oh, shit. Because I'm breaking generational curses here, okay? I'm stepping in and interceding. You see what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck who you are, baby. You will not disrespect somebody in my presence, especially when it's someone who may not have the words or the know-how to stand up for themselves. You are not going to traumatize somebody in my presence. I can love you and hold you accountable and still let the other person defend them. I can do both, baby. I'm more than able. And that person got mad at me, but guess what? I wasn't going to allow that to happen, because here's what was more important to me than anything else. What was more important to me than anything else was my baby's emotional health. Because what I thought about was, I said, down the road, when my baby's a full-ass grown adult living their life, and they think back on the shit that they was exposed to in my presence or within my own knowledge, right? And they think back on how those moments when they got traumatized, hurt, embarrassed, and I did nothing. I was complicit, and I had the power to do something. Shit, I'm basically putting my relationship in the grave at that point in time with them. Because, see, some of the damage that you can do to a relationship happened 20 years ago, happened 5 years ago, happened 30 years ago. It was when the person had the opportunity to stand up for you and stand with you, and they chose not to. And here you are 30 years later, and you don't fuck with them no more. And they say, what happened? That was the past. No, baby, that was the foundation. It wasn't the past, that was the foundation. You showed me what to expect of you, and therefore I built my mindset towards you. I've changed. I did this, baby. It ain't no change in the world if you didn't come to me with an apology and clear change behavior. Don't buy that shit when they sit there telling you, I changed. Okay, that's cool. Why is it I'm just finding out about this change when I'm finally holding you accountable? Because you never apologized to me. In fact, if the only apology you gave me was after I confronted you, then it wasn't an apology. It was simply a response to the discomfort of me confronting you. Because if you were truly hurt by what you did to me, if you were truly saddened by what you did to me, if you truly felt sorry about what you did to me, you wouldn't have to be prompted to apologize to me. How about that? Be careful about the people who only apologize to you when you hold them accountable. Because if they knew what they did was wrong, they would have said something beforehand. Well, maybe they didn't know it was wrong. Baby, some shit is right and some shit is wrong. This ain't no difference of opinion. Okay? This is right and wrong. It was wrong for that person to do that to you and for me to stand there and watch. Even if they have a reason for it, right? I stood there and watched this happen because at the time I didn't know what to say. I was going through XYZ. They can explain. People are human. They have their own reasons. Hear them out. Hear them out. I'm not saying don't hear them out. I'm not saying they didn't have their own stuff that was going on at the time that impacted their ability to intercede for you or to be there for you. Right? But what I'm saying is if they can't even acknowledge it within a fucking apology. So with my baby, when I was watching it happen, I was like, no, sir. No, sir, no, sir, no, sir. Because I was thinking to myself, what you doing is you fucking up your relationship with this young man. That's what you doing. You fucking up. Thank you so much, Lona J88 for my badge. I was thinking you fucking up your relationship with this young man, and that's on you. But baby, just because you choosing to fuck up your relationship with this young man don't mean I'm participating in that. Because when he thinks back on the pain and the trauma of the words that you were saying to him, he's going to remember everyone who stood there and watched it happen, and I won't be one of them. Every last one of you motherfuckers in this room can hate me for standing up and saying, I'm not dealing with this. You wrong. Y'all can be mad at me. Y'all can put me out. All right. But guess who I'm going to be on the right side of? The person who was being victimized. Okay? Because one thing I know to be true is that the people who got all kinds of nasty shit to say, the people who do all that kind of stuff like that, they'll get over it. And to be quite honest with you, it's really not a priority to me how you feel about me. Okay? Okay? You know where I'm sitting right now? I'm sitting right here in Bangkok. I posted about it yesterday. I posted a little thing on my story. I'm in Bangkok, visiting my baby. Okay? I'm visiting Marco. I saw a DJ last week. You see what I'm saying? I'm out here visiting with him. You know why? Because A, that's my baby, one of my two. But also, you said, can you find me on TikTok? Yes, baby. It's the same handle. MJ Harris Speaks. MJ Harris Speaks. That's my name on pretty much every platform. You know? But I'm out here because I said, you know what? It is a priority to me to make sure that I can be of emotional support to my baby, that I can be there for him. I remember when I got off that plane and he was meeting me at the airport, he ran up to me and he said, I'm so happy you here. I'm so happy you here. I'm so happy you here. You know, because I said, listen, I don't care what's going on in my life. It is a priority to me to sow into the relationships that sow into me. You see what I'm saying? And my baby sows into me. DJ sows into me. Marco sows into me. So I go out of my way to make sure that I make time for them. You want to know why? Because when I was in some of my most difficult moments as a human being, it was those two who sat beside me. I said, that's not right. It was those two who stood beside me when I couldn't be vulnerable to nobody else, who sat beside me, even with tears in my eyes. And they said, we love you. We got you. What you need us to do. It was those two who were my ride or dies no matter what. It was those two when I was mistreated who stood up for me and who said, listen, even if I don't have the position in your life to stand up to the person who mistreating you, I'm going to stand beside you no matter what. I got your back no matter what. I don't fuck with that person because you don't fuck with that person. You see where I'm going with that? And for that baby, I'll go get on the plane to go anywhere. My baby's on the moon. I'm going there. You want to know why? Because you sow into the people who sow into you. So if there was someone in your life who had the opportunity to sow into you when you were in your difficult moments, when you were in your pain, when you were being mistreated, and they did nothing but stay silent, but they did nothing but choose the side of the other person and chose to remain close to the other person rather than remaining close to you, baby, consider this as your open door to release that dead weight. There's no level of forgiveness that justifies you allowing someone to have continued access to you who've proven that they disrespect that access. Right? I'm so sorry. If I knew better, I would have done better. Well, baby, you had the opportunity to do better, but you didn't. So unfortunately, even if I let you keep access to me, you can't never hold that same space again because you've proven that you don't know how to hold that space. We only got one life to live, baby, and some mistakes we make are irreversible. And it is an irreversible mistake for someone to watch you be mishandled at the highest levels, abused, bullied, whatever it may be, and they choose to stand there and watch. But don't the Bible say we should forgive and da-da-da? It never said stay in relationship with. It never said continue to give them access. Thank you, Dr. Sleekest81, for my badge. See, some of y'all are codependent. And the thing that affects your ability to actually actualize and do what I'm telling you that you have a right to do right now is this. And watch this. I'm about to drop something on you, baby. I'm about to drop something on you, but it's going to free you. The reason why some of y'all struggle to do this is because you are worried about how the other person will feel. Let me free you real fast. You are worried about how will this person feel that you're not fucking with them no more, that you cutting them off, that you mad at them, that you angry with them. How they gonna feel about it? Well, let me put this on your plate. Was that person worried about how you would feel when they were watching you experience pain, abuse, injustice, bullying, whatever it may be, and they did nothing? Was they worried about your feelings? Or was they worried about keeping the peace? Or were they worried about maintaining a relationship with the abuser? Because let's call a thing a thing. Sometimes the reason why they didn't stand in your corner was because they was too cozy in the corner of the person who was perpetrating pain against you. The reason why they didn't stand in your corner was because they were too cozy in the position of staying close to the person who was perpetrating the pain against you. And yet, you worried about how they gonna feel by you finally standing up for yourself and stepping back from them. Baby, let me share this with you. And listen to me close. I'm gonna take a deep breath before I say it, but you need to hear it. They don't care how you feel. They never cared how you felt. Your feelings are not a priority to them. Your emotional health, your well-being, your mental health, not a priority to them. Someone can love you and not care about you. Ooh, Malcolm, what do you mean? How do you say that? Let me say it. Somebody can love you and not care about your emotional well-being. Okay? Love is an emotion that is created based on proximity and time. If you spend enough time around somebody in close enough proximity, you are bound to love them eventually. Love has nothing to do with anything. Okay? We got to get that love. But I love them and they love me too. So, was their behavior towards you loving? Was it loving? I'm asking you this. Was it loving? When they watched that person abuse you and turned a blind eye to it, was that loving? When they chose to remain in close relationship with somebody who actively hurt you, was that loving? How was that loving? Because for me, if I love somebody, I can't watch them be mistreated. I can't even watch a damn stranger be mistreated. I'm standing in the grocery store, somebody cut in front of the line on an elderly woman, and I'm like, excuse me, there's a line here, right? I don't even love the woman. I don't know her. But I can't watch an injustice happen against somebody. What they say, what Tina Turner said. What's love got to do with it? So if you're sitting here choosing a relationship with somebody consistently who's proven that they don't choose you, I want to ask you this question. Why don't you love yourself enough to finally choose you? Why don't you love yourself enough to finally accept exactly what this person is showing you that they are? Well, they've been showing you more than likely for a long time. Some of y'all big and grown, and we talking about a parent in some of y'all situation. The parent who watched the other parent abuse you. The parent who watched whoever mistreats you. They did this for years. Been doing it forever. And even though the mistreatment isn't happening today, if you brought it up in conversation, they would justify it. They try to turn it around on you. In some cases, this motherfucker is so toxic, listen, that they will try to make you out to be the bad guy for even bringing it up. Well, yeah, but I think you were wrong too. You did this, you did that. Even if you had your own fault within it, why can't they hold the other person accountable? Pay attention to that. Someone who deflects from holding other people accountable by only holding you accountable. Nobody's saying you perfect, baby. I'm not saying you perfect. Nobody's perfect, okay? But why can't they hold the other person accountable? Baby, when somebody say, I'm staying out of it, that's between y'all, and choose not to hold the other person accountable, they're not staying out of it, baby. They picked a side. Let me say that again. When someone says that they're staying out of it, but they only hold you accountable and they don't hold the other person accountable, they're not staying out of it. They picked a side. And they're using staying out of it as a way to deflect from taking responsibility for the fact that they took a side. Put your big girl panties on, put your big boy drawers on, and just own the fact that you chose a side. And that side wasn't me. But because you want to keep access to me, because they want to keep access to you, what they will do is they will basically lie and say they didn't choose a side. But they did. They chose the other person. But they can't tell you that because they know if they told you that shit, the sense of betrayal that you deserve to feel will be so strong that you may not fuck with them no more. Baby, I'm only talking to you about what I know, honey. We've all lived this before. If you haven't lived this before, God bless you. Okay? We all know what it feels like to be betrayed by a friend, a family member, somebody who you thought should have your back, but they didn't. And isn't that devastating? Isn't it devastating? But here's what I need you to know, baby. Okay? And I'm going to say this. Everybody has the opportunity to redeem themselves if you want to let them. So what I'm telling you is this. I can tell you, cut them off, cut back, do whatever you want to do. But if that person comes to you and they sincerely apologize, if they sincerely and wholeheartedly take responsibility, give yourself permission to forgive them. That doesn't mean that you need to give them instant access to the same place they used to hold within your life. If you want to give them access, take your time to get to that point, to show that they deserve that access. Okay? Because time will reveal sincerity. Time will reveal it, right? So I'm not saying cut them off forever, but what I am saying is this. Don't you dare give somebody no fucking access, right? On any level whatsoever, if they haven't even fucking apologized and showed you any signs of change. Why would you do that? That's like letting the person who robbed your house back into your house simply because they said, I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry. Your sorry isn't enough. You robbed my house last time you was in it. Right? I'm that way. I had to learn this. I had to learn this for myself. Accountability is so powerful. And one of the most toxic types of people out there, pay attention to me close, are people who don't take accountability. When they are confronted, they deflect. They play victim. Pay close attention to that. When they play victim, right? When you confront them and they are more focused on trying to play the victim, it's like, hold on, how am I confronting you about what happened to me that you were complicit to? And now you the fucking victim. When they play victim, listen to me close. I don't care who it is. I don't care if they dropped out on the floor in the fetal position crying. Okay, because when somebody is wrong, and they are emotionally immature, the way they play victim is usually at epic levels. When they go there to play victim, end the call, hang up. You don't have to listen to shit. You don't have to hear them out. Fuck all of that. You don't have to hear them out. Walk out the room, leave the space, leave wherever. You don't have to stay exposed to that because it is toxic to your spirit to have someone doing that. Because by them not accepting accountability and playing victim, they're abusing you again. They are re-abusing you. They're re-abusing you. That's why for me, you know, whenever I've done coaching with anybody, whenever I've worked with anybody, even when I'm just talking to friends and just kind of helping them through things, why I never, ever promote that people should confront the person who victimized them. I don't promote that. I say if you want to, go for it. But one of the biggest questions I always ask them is this. As I say, based on your experience with them, what are 3 likely responses that you can expect from this person when you confront them? 3 likely responses. Well, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and she said this to me because she was about confronting somebody. And I was like, what are 3 likely responses you may experience from this person? Because she was gung-ho. She's ready to confront them. I was like, well, hold on. What are 3 likely responses you may experience from them? She said, well, if I confront him, I know that he could try to turn it around on me, like to try to make it seem like I'm the bad guy. Okay, why do you think that? Because this has happened multiple times in the past. I've seen him do it to other people as well. Okay, so turning it around on you. What's another likely response? Right? It doesn't have to be a bad one. It could be a good one, too. What's another likely response? Well, he sometimes plays victim. What do you mean by playing victim, sweetheart? Well, sometimes when you confront him, before you know it, it's like the whole conversation is about what you did to him. Or even if it's not about what you did to him, the whole conversation is about how somebody else hurt him. He basically ends up being in a position of the victim when confronted. Okay, so playing victim. We got 2 things. Turn around, you playing victim. Is there a 3rd likely response, positive or negative? Oh, I hate when he does this. I say, what was it? He starts crying. Like, okay, so it seems like he's taking responsibility, but he's just crying. Like, I'm so sorry. And everything like that. And I was like, well, why is the crying a problem for you? I know why, but I just want to ask. Because it's a problem for me because, like, it totally puts the spotlight on them. Like, I'm confronting you, and now you crying so hard that basically now we need to comfort your ass. And how do you have a conversation with someone who's breaking down in tears, who's not emotionally regulated enough to sit within taking responsibility? I said, okay. So if those are the 3 likely responses that you can expect to face from this person based on your experience and or exposure to this person, why you want to confront them about what they did to you? Because I want to get it off my chest. I want closure. And I said, have you accepted that based on this person's level of emotional immaturity, or dare I say it, even their narcissism, right? That this person can never give you closure. In fact, the only thing that they can do is re-abuse you. Because through you confronting them, I'm willing to bet that if they do any one of those 3 things, or even all those 3 things, or for that matter, more than those things, you're going to walk away from that conversation feeling more traumatized and probably needing more therapy. That's why I don't encourage people to confront the person who hurt them. I don't. I think if you see that this person is emotionally mature enough to handle being confronted and can take responsibility, even if they're uncomfortable, okay, they can still handle taking responsibility, or at least hearing information about themselves that's not something they want to hear. They have a track record of being able to do that, then by all means. But not everybody has bought and paid for the space to populate in your life of being someone you can have deep conversations with. How do they pay for it? Through consistent behavior that shows you that they deserve that space. Some people don't deserve that space in your life. You hear what I'm saying? Not everyone deserves that access to your vulnerability. Your vulnerability is a sacred space. And that is truly vulnerable to open your heart up to someone to say, you hurt me, and here's how. You devastated me. You disappointed me. You betrayed me. That is such a vulnerable space. Why would you give somebody access to that vulnerable space who's proven to you that they will come into that space with an emotional baseball bat and wreck everything in it? They've proven it. There are certain people who've proven to you that they have changed, that they've grown, that they are in a space where they can hear that. You can go to them and say, you know what? I want to have this uncomfortable conversation with you because I know you can handle it. Hey, Sierra, I know you can handle it. Rather you intended it or not, rather you knew it or not, this is how I felt betrayed by you. This is what happened that hurt me. This is what you did that I really wish you wouldn't have done. And they can hear that and be like, oh my God, my bad. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was how you experienced it, or whatever it may be. Or even they can disagree with you. They can say, you know what, I hear you, but let me tell you this. It wasn't my intention. What my intention at that time was XYZ. Right? You can have a meaningful conversation with them. That don't mean y'all want to agree with each other. That don't mean you may even walk away from this conversation being close to each other. But it does mean you can have a meaningful conversation. But for someone who can't even show up with any degree of accountability, you see what I'm saying? I just wanted to go ahead and highlight this person who wanted to call out some shit. I'm on a block fest today. They can't even take accountability? How's that work? And I'm going to take it a step further, because some of y'all, like, I see right in here, this woman wrote this, she says, what about if it's my mother? Somebody said it's their father. Somebody said, what if it's their children? You're asking basically, what if it's somebody so close to you? Let me share this with you. Nobody can tell you to cut off family. That's a choice you have to make. I would never encourage you to do that, because cutting off a friend or whoever it may be, a distant relative, that's one thing. But when somebody's very close to you, you have a deep history with them, that's something you have to be truly prepared for. But what I can tell you is this, is what I want you to do for the next, 30 days even, is this. Pay attention to what is your emotional state when you're around that person. What is your emotional state when you're around that person? Is your emotional state tense? Is it sad? Is it angry? Is it enraged? What is your emotional state when you're around that person? I'm sure you don't experience just one emotion, but what are some of the top 3 emotions you experience when you're around them? Okay? Now put a pin in that. Now ask yourself, in other parts of your life and other parts of your world, do you experience those same emotions with other people consistently? If the answer is no, meaning that you experience really shitty feelings with them a lot, but you generally don't experience with other people, then I want you to ask yourself, why are you willing to subject yourself to being in proximity, close or distant, with someone who takes your body and your mind to such a negative place? Why? Just because they family? Just because they're a friend that you have a long history with? Why? Why? I'm just asking you. You know? It's not worth it. Because my thing is this. You got one life to live. And why would you allow yourself to go through that? Risking your physical health, your blood pressure, all the other stuff, just to allow someone to have continued access to you. Thank you, Cool P301, for my badge. Just to allow someone to have continued access to you. Listen, and y'all keep on asking me, what if it's this person? What if it's that person? Okay, you say, what if it's your father? Okay, baby, let me ask you this. Was them being your father, was them being your sister, was them being your brother, was them being your cousin or your grandmother, was that role within your life so important to them for them not to inflict the pain on you? For them to stand up for you? Right? Thank you, Swing Baby. She said she just purchased my book. Gotta get the fuck out my own way. Yes, baby. My book, Get the Fuck Out Your Own Way, A Guide to Letting Go of the Shit That's Holding You Back, is available on pretty much every platform. You can order it right now by clicking the link on my page, as well as on any major book retailer. And I have audio version. But yeah, you're saying, well, what if the person's my mother, my father, my auntie, my uncle, my grandmother, my brother, my sister? Okay. Because you're asking that because within your heart, you're like, this person's so close to me. How could I don't even know how to deal with if they hurt me. How would I deal with that? But let me ask you this. If they so close to you, why is it that their closeness to you in terms of their proximity by their relationship, why didn't it stop them from hurting you? Why didn't their closeness to you make them stand up for you? Why didn't their closeness to you stop them from betraying you? Right? What I need you to understand is this. Sometimes we have a tendency to give people a certain placement in our life because of the title that they hold. But that person doesn't choose to operate based on that title. So you're regarding them and giving them all this access, privilege, and forgiveness based on the title they hold. But they themselves are not operating within that title. Yes, there's an audible version as well, right? Yes, there's an audible version. Thank you so much, Sharon Stroud, for my badge. You saying, what if it's your mother? Well, baby, every mother isn't maternal. Every mother doesn't stand up for you. Right? You saying, what if it's your father? Well, okay, great. But every father isn't like an episode of Fathers Knows Best. Sometimes your father can be your victimizer too, or at the very least complicit in what happened to you. What if it's your sister or your brother? Okay. Y'all may come from the same bloodline, but that don't mean that y'all truly family based on how they treated you or how they allowed you to be treated. Right? So my point is, we have to stop giving people special privilege and special access because of the title that they hold, if their actions don't align with that title. Right? That father of yours who you resent, baby, he is your father because he was a part of the genetic composition that brought you into this earth. But baby, he is not your father in terms of how he treated you. A father protects. A father provides. A father takes accountability and apologizes. A father can take accountability even when he didn't know he was wrong. He can hear you out because he recognizes that even though I didn't know that what I did was wrong at the time, based on the pain that I see my child experiencing as a result of my actions, that and that alone is enough for me to say, I'm sorry. Okay? But it is some real bitch ass shit when they can see the pain that you are experiencing, that you interpret as a result of their behavior or their choices, and they choose to re-victimize you by not even hearing you out, not taking responsibility, not doing anything. And you worried about, what am I supposed to do? This person is by so-and-so. Baby, you giving them more grace than they're giving to you. You giving them more compassion than they're giving to you. You giving them more space within your life than they are giving to you. Sometimes what hurts more than the betrayal, but is more freeing than anything else, is accepting that this person really don't fuck with you. They really don't fuck with you. They don't fuck with you. Because if they did, they would have stood up for you. If they did, they would have had your back. If they did, they would have apologized. They don't fuck with you, boo. I'm sorry to tell you, they love you, but they don't fuck with you like that. The space that you give them in your heart is not the space that they give you in their heart. And let me tell you this, that will hurt so bad to accept that, but baby, it's the most freeing thing you can ever accept because it frees you from trying to hold on to a relationship with somebody that's not real. It's not real if your belief about the relationship is different than their belief. It's not a real relationship if you would cross oceans and mountains for them, but baby, this person wouldn't even jump over a pond for you, emotionally speaking, right? That's not a real relationship, baby. That's not that. And it hurts so bad. For some of y'all, it may even be your kids. Where you like, damn, I love this person, but damn, they really don't have my back. They really don't fuck with me. Hey, Gabe, they really don't fuck with me like that. People love to make excuses. Oh, they love different people, love in their own way, blah, blah, blah. Girl, bye. Shut that traumatized shit up. People love in their own way, but regardless of how they love is clear. Love is very distinctive. Love is not hurtful. Thank you for ordering my Audible book, Tax Lady said. She said, oh, she just asked, was there an Audible version? I said, yes, sir. She went and got it right now. Thank you, baby. You're going to love it. It's me reading my Audible book. So it's just like me right there in your ear. Y'all been asking for a podcast, baby. I gave you something better. I gave you an audio book, okay? Lots of chapters, okay? How about it? But yes, that person don't fuck with you. I know that hurt. Oh, I know it hurts. I know it hurts. I know you got to grieve a baby. Let me tell you this. Once you finally let yourself feel this shit, it's going to be freeing eventually, but not immediately. Oh, girl, I wish I could tell you it's going to be freeing immediately. Oh, you're going to be so hurt. Wounds from 20 years ago, from when that person originally inflicted the pain. right, will come back up and it will feel like the pain just happened. You're going to be angry. You're going to feel everything that you didn't allow yourself to feel from before. That's healthy. Because here's the thing. People say time heals all wounds. No, it don't. Time distracts you from your wounds, but the wounds are there and they still fester. In some cases, the wounds get worse with time if you don't deal with them. Right? Yeah, it's me reading it, Sharon's Trial. Go ahead to the link on my Instagram page and get my book. It's the link that's on my Instagram page. Time don't heal the wound, baby. It don't heal it. What heals your wounds fastest, people say, how do I forgive? How do I forgive this person? You want me to let you know how to forgive that person? By accepting them exactly as they are. Letting yourself be angry. Letting yourself be mad. Letting yourself be hurt. Letting yourself feel everything you need to feel. That's going to open the door for forgiveness. Because what it does is it takes you out of denial about who they are. Because when you're in denial about who that person is, you continue to try to have a healthy relationship with that person that this person clearly is not able to provide you with because they've proven that. And then you keep on re-inflicting yourself with pain. Notice I said you re-inflict yourself with pain. They don't. You're re-inflicting yourself with the pain. That's what you're doing. And then therefore you can't forgive. Because you keep on exposing to yourself to the person who keeps on hurting you. How do you forgive someone who's continuously hurting you? The easiest way to forgive somebody is to accept them exactly as they are. That doesn't mean accept them back into your life, but it means accept them as they are. Accepting them as they are means stop being in denial about what you see. Accept that what you see and what you experience is real. Accept that. Grieve that. And then let that pain. Pain is such a powerful thing. Because let me say this. If you put your hand on the stove, it burns you. What you going to do? You're not going to put your hand on that stove again. Right? So through accepting and allowing yourself to deal with the pain that this person has inflicted upon you. I mean, really feel that pain and be sad about it, be hurt about it, be angry about it, be whatever you feel about it. By allowing yourself to feel that, it's almost like allowing yourself to touch that stove. Ooh, it hurt. And guess what it's going to do? It's going to train your mind and your spirit to not go touch that stove again. And not touching that stove again may mean don't be close to them no more. It may mean cutting them off. It may mean I'll fuck with you, I'll deal with you, but I'll only deal with you in group settings where we really can't go too deep. So I'll deal with you Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, whatever the holidays are in your family. I'll deal with you a Sunday dinner when everybody else is around, but we can't do one-on-ones no more. Because one-on-ones are too triggering for me because you may slip up and say some shit to me and next thing you know I'm cussing you out looking like the bad guy. You looking like Miss Temperamental when the truth of the matter is you just have unresolved pain towards them and you allowed yourself to have too close for access to them or vice versa and now you were too triggered. Right? You hear where I'm going with this? She says, I'm a therapist and you're talking truth. Just ordered your audiobook. Let me pin this comment, honey. I got endorsed by a therapist. No, but for real, I'm serious about this. Thank you for ordering my book, Diane Parchment as well. Thank you for ordering my book. Forgiveness is powerful, but sometimes we give it out too early. We give it out before the pain. We give out forgiveness sometimes as a way to avoid the pain of hurts, of disappointment, of grieving. Sometimes you gotta let yourself grieve it. Sometimes, can I say this to y'all? And I know the church folk in the room gonna be mad at me for saying this, but let me say this, okay? I'm gonna say this. Depending on the depths of the pain that person exposed you to, you might have to even allow yourself to hate that person for a period of time. Not forcing yourself to go there, but if that's the level of pain that you feel, where you like, I hate this person. I don't like them. I don't want to be around them. I would never do anything to harm them, because never hurt anybody, right? I don't want to do anything to harm them. But I have no compassion for them. I have no empathy for them. I have no love in my heart for them. In fact, I hate them. If that's what you got to feel, let yourself feel that, because I'm going to share this with you, okay? We get so afraid of those deep, dare I say, dark feelings, but they're not dark feelings. They're just shadows. They're feelings that we don't often shine light on. They're not dark. They're just shadows, okay? And because it's set in the dark so long, it festered over there, right? But through allowing yourself to feel your feelings, you allow yourself to truly, truly, truly get in touch with the fact that you didn't deserve to be treated that way. That you deserve to be protected, that you deserve to be defended, that you deserve to have that person stand on your side, that you deserve to have that person stand with you rather than standing with your abuser, with your bully, with your perpetrator. And what will happen is this. I guarantee you this. Your hate Your pain, your anger, your rage even, it will dissipate once you allow yourself to feel it. It will pass through. But let me share this with you, okay? This is very important. If you're going to allow yourself to feel these feelings, it is very important that you give yourself space from that person. You do not need to process your very raw feelings with that person. She said, not hate, dislike. Just pray about it and ask God to soften your heart. That hate will go away. Baby, I love you to death, honey, but that's not my theology. I'm sharing with you what I know. Okay? We don't like the word hate. So take another word. Use rage. But what I'm telling you is whatever the extreme level of pain is that you feel towards somebody, let yourself feel that. If you don't like the word hate, then put another label on it. But what I'm telling you is whatever the most extreme level of anger is you have towards somebody, let yourself feel it. Journal about it. Record a little audio to yourself talking about it. Don't give it to nobody. That's just for you. You see what I'm saying? But I'm just telling you, you got to let yourself feel that, right? I have a belief that if we are capable of feeling an emotion, then that emotion is healthy for us to feel sometimes. To me, people say it's so unhealthy for you to hate anything. But they don't feel like it's unhealthy to act like you're happy about something all the time. They don't act like it's unhealthy for you to disregard your emotions so that you can fake acting loving towards someone who you really don't fuck with. Any emotion that you feel to an extreme that you don't have any break from is unhealthy. If you too focused on forgiveness, that's really fucking unhealthy. Because how can I be more focused on forgiving you? She said she likes the word rage. Okay, yeah, let's work with that word, right? If you so focus on forgiveness and you can't feel your feelings, that's really unhealthy, right? You see what I'm saying? And so what I'm sharing with you is this. If you're going to allow yourself to feel whatever it is you want to allow yourself to feel towards that person, right? Let yourself feel it. Choose a safe space, a person, whether it's a coach, a therapist, or just a close friend, right? Family member even, that you can talk to about your feelings, to process it. Someone who will listen, but who's not trying to guide you particularly, unless it's a therapist and you're paying them to guide you or whatever. Who you can confide and choose somebody for that, but do not go to that person about your feelings. And let me tell you why. Because sometimes we have to, how I think about feelings is like this. It's like a puzzle. You know how when you're about to do a puzzle and you take the puzzle out, right? You see the picture of the puzzle, like, oh my God, this puzzle is going to be so pretty when it's done. But when you open the box and pour those pieces all on the table, it's just a disaster. It's like, oh my God, this is a disaster. You got to sort through all that stuff, right? And I think that it's incredibly risky, problematic, unhealthy for you to sort through your feelings in the presence of the person who caused the feelings, right? Once you've put together the puzzle and it's clear and it's a clear picture, then you may want to go to them if you choose to. Remember, not everybody deserves your vulnerability, right? But if they've proven they deserve your vulnerability, then at that point in time, you can go to them and be like, okay, I've had to process some things. Let me share with you what I've processed. Let me share with you the feelings that I have towards you, whatever it may be, right? All right, I got another therapist, y'all. Thank you so much, Free 328. She said she loved my book. The link is available on my Instagram page. If y'all want to get my book, I have the Audible version as well. But then you process it with them. The other piece is this, and I want to talk to y'all about this. This is very serious. For some of you all, you are not yet at a point of emotional regulation. So let's be real about it. Let me just say it real simple. You got a temper issue. So you're not at a point of emotional regulation to process your deep hurt feelings about somebody with that person. Because you might end up cussing them out beyond belief. Okay, you don't want to become an abuser to deal with the abuse, right? You don't want to end up going over there and you go over there and try to talk to them about your feelings and they say some stupid shit to you. They don't take accountability. They play victim. They do their normal shit that you know they're going to do anyway, right? And next thing you know, you out there with a baseball bat busting up their fucking car, okay? I hear about some people who do some fucked up shit. I be watching, I be scrolling online and I be seeing these videos that, oh Lord, the woman went and busted the windows out his car. Or this man went and threw all her clothes out the window. He did whatever it may be, or blah, 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 blah. Or at the family dinner, the boy went and threw the cake across the room. And you're like, why would that person ruin that moment? Why would they damage somebody's property? But what I always think to myself is this. I wonder, I say, what the fuck was going on? Possibly. That made that person feel that level of rage? Was that what was said before the camera came out and you saw that person throwing the holiday ham across the room and ruining Thanksgiving, right? Could it have been that uncle, that mother, that father, that sister, that brother who hurt them, said some really triggering shit to them, and at that time the person was in the process of processing their pain and they just were not emotionally regulated enough to be in the presence of their victimizer? And therefore, what we saw as a result was rage that on the outside looking in looks like, oh, this person's a horrible person. But if you really knew the backstory, you would have compassion to be able to say, no, that person was re-victimized that night by what that person said, and they were not emotionally regulated enough to know how to deal with it. So my point to you is this, right? Is I'm not justifying you doing stupid shit. But what I am saying is that it's a really great way to avoid doing stupid shit, which is giving yourself permission to not be around the people or the persons who hurt you, who traumatize you while you processing your stuff. And here's the thing, you may not ever want to be around them ever again, and that's cool also. That's cool also. But give yourself permission to have some space. Okay? And then after you feel as regulated as possible, here's what I want you to then do. I want you to sit down and write that person a letter explaining to them how they made you feel, what you experienced from them, whatever it may be. And then what I want you to do as you write that letter is pay attention to how you feel. Is writing this letter a traumatizing or triggering experience? Okay? Do you get more angry again as you writing it? You getting pissed, you crying, you going through all this stuff? Okay. Then that may be a sign that you still are not yet ready to confront this person. And let me tell you this. You may never be ready to confront them. You may never be ready to confront them. That is okay also. You don't ever have to confront them. You can move on with your life. Be like, well, how am I going to be around them if I can't confront them? You don't have to be around them. You know how many grown-ass adults don't go home for Thanksgiving? Thank you, Foon, I can't pronounce your name, baby, and I don't want to mispronounce it, but I'm going to tell you thank you, my love, with the beautiful, beautiful picture here for purchasing my badge. I think you're from South Africa. I can tell by the spelling of your name. But thank you so much. I appreciate it. Is it necessary to confront? Absolutely not. It is not necessary. In some cases, it's unhealthy. If you are healthy enough to confront them, and be able to deal with that confrontation. And by confrontation, meaning the act of confronting them. And they, even if they say something negative to you, even if they say something bad to you, and you can still stay emotionally regulated and not be re-traumatized, then by all means. But I think that we often try to get closure from people who are not capable of giving us closure. And how do we know it? Because if this person was emotionally healthy in the first place, they wouldn't have done the shit to you in the first place. They wouldn't have stood by and watched your pain. It's emotionally healthy people do not watch people be victimized and stand idly on the sidelines. Emotionally healthy people do not re-victimize you. Emotionally healthy people take responsibility. So if this person was so emotionally unhealthy that they could stand there and be a part of the pain that you were experiencing, then what makes you think that this person is emotionally healthy enough to now take accountability? What? They're not that. That's not who they are. You did the therapy. You read the MJ Harris books. You did the work on yourself. They didn't. Let me tell you what they've been doing in the meantime. The same shit they did to you, they've been doing it to other people. I guarantee you. The same thing they did to you, they doing to other people. They are a toxic contributor to lots of relationships. If you don't believe me, look at the full body of the relationships they have around them. Often the people who we are most traumatized by, their life is littered with the trail and the scraps of broken relationships. They have a long history of not having healthy relationships. Thank you, Precious, for my badge. Right? They have a long history of having unhealthy relationships. They can't sustain healthy relationships. They can't problem solve. They play the victim in every fucking situation, no matter what. And they don't have the emotional maturity to recognize that they're the common denominator. So what makes you think that you confronting them is going to be the one thing that somehow or another changes them? Help me to understand that. Okay, let me see this. She said, Candy says, I confronted my mom, and you know what she said? She told me that she don't want to forgive me. But mind you, she is the one who did everything to me. Makes it so badly that she supposedly is a church-going woman as well. Let me share this with you, okay? First of all, I'm sorry you had that experience. I'm very sorry you had that experience. It is a very difficult position to be in when the person you expect to protect you, love you, be there for you, can't do that for you. Right? No matter who it is, mother, father, sister, cousin, brother, grandmother, it doesn't matter who it is. It's a hurtful position. But I think it's especially hurtful when it's a parent. And the fact that that you confronted her and she tells you she can't forgive you, let me share this with you, okay? First of all, I'm glad that you recognized that was wrong. But second of all, let's say that you did do something to her that hurt her. Okay, you weren't perfect. But there was a way for her to acknowledge, hey, I'm sorry for what I did. And then at a later point in time, right? Because we understand that the rules to healthy conversations is when someone takes out the space to confront us, that's not our time to confront them. Healthy people can stand within the discomfort of accountability without also trying to hold you accountable, right? They can do that later. So if she would have come to you at a later point in time and said, okay, I appreciate the conversation we had before, but I would love to have a conversation with you about, some of the experiences that I've had, right? Then that's fine. It is okay to be held accountable, within the space that you holding somebody else accountable. But the fact of the matter is you holding her accountable and now she's saying she can't forgive you. I'm not nobody's therapist at all. I can't diagnose nobody with nothing, baby, okay? But I'm going to tell you this right now. I think we need to look up the definition of narcissism and become intimately familiar with it. Because I do think that a lot of cases we're self-diagnosing people as narcissists who are not narcissists, but in some cases we're letting people off the hook who are narcissists, who are borderline, okay? And we're letting them off the hook. And the reason why I think that it's important to kind of recognize what some of those signs may be is because the thing about narcissism, borderline, anything like that, sociopaths, is in a lot of cases, even therapists don't want to treat them. Why? Because they can be very difficult clients. They can be very manipulative. But in a lot of cases, they don't get better. They just don't get better. It's a personality disorder. It's not a chemical imbalance. Like let's say somebody was schizophrenic or bipolar. That's a chemical issue. So with proper medicine or whatever, you can regulate them. You can regulate their chemicals in a way where they may be able to function at whatever their best version of healthy, normal, whatever it may be is. But with someone who has a personality disorder, this is not a chemical imbalance. This is a personality disorder, right? When you recognize that someone has that, it's such a freeing thing for you because it also gives you permission to stop taking it personal when they do dumb shit like that. You can hold them accountable, but you don't have to take it personal because what you recognize is that this person, frankly, is incapable of doing anything else. They can't hold themselves accountable, right? They can't. The very reason that they, you said you would love to meet me and greet and have an autographed copy of my book. Well, baby, I'm not doing a meet and greet right now, but if you go to my page and click the link on my page, you will see an option for you to get an autographed copy of my book. I autographed a bunch of them, and you can get an autographed copy, right? Narcissists lack the ability to have compassion. They don't see anything wrong with their shit. And when they're telling you, well, I don't forgive you, in some cases, they wholeheartedly believe that. They wholeheartedly believe that. They can convince themselves, very convincingly, and in some cases convince other people of narratives that will make the people that they victimized look like the villain. And that's one of the things you're going to have to accept is when you're dealing with a narcissist, you need to accept that this is who they are and they likely will not change, number one. And number two, you also have to accept that by confronting the narcissist or dealing with the narcissist, there may be some other relationships in your life that get cut off. Because narcissists always have those one or two people who are close to them. Some of them are even in your family, where this is the person who unfortunately may not have the emotional maturity to recognize that they're being lied to. And so what they do is they will lie to that person and will convince that person of every narrative, right? Because in the narcissist's mind, that person, seeing them as a good person, justifies to them, I can't be that bad. I know this person don't fuck with me. I know this person don't like me. I know this person don't call me no more. I know this, and this. But see, this person right here, they like me, so I can't be that bad. They use it as justification, but here's the fucked up manipulative part of it. They will feed that person, that family member, that friend, whoever that person is, they will feed that person false stories or extremely distorted stories to make them as the narcissist look like the victim. They will make themselves look like the victim. That's a very powerful tool to make themselves look like the victim, right? So that that person will continue to give them the fuel, be a source of energy to them to say, no, you're not bad. You're not bad, right? Pay attention to that. And so you may have to be okay with the fact that there's certain relationships that will also end when you end the relationship with this narcissist, or when you stop, or when you hold this person accountable. There will be those people who will frankly be on that person's side. And maybe those people will come to you down the road, right? Maybe those people will come to you down the road and be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I finally got the chance to experience, dad, auntie, uncle, mom, whoever it may be. I got to experience them in the same way, and they truly hurt me. I'm so sorry. I didn't see what they were doing to you at that time. Okay, cool. They can come to you later on and apologize. But when they're in it, narcissists can be very convincing to people. And they normally choose people who are vulnerable. They choose people who they can have power over to manipulate. So my point to you is this. You're going to have to choose your emotional health above everything else, right? Let me read what she just said. Kimmy said she says absolutely people who, and she's a therapist, she says absolutely people who have personality disorders are difficult to work with because their brains are wired differently, and they typically lack the ability to see their roles in situations. So what does that mean for you all? That means that you just got freed to stop trying to work on the relationship with them, right? I'm not saying you got to stop loving them, but it means stop trying. They can't change. Or if they do change, it's going to take a lot of effort and extended periods of time. I know of people who are narcissists, who have borderline personality disorder. Look that up. Y'all love to talk about narcissists, but look up BPD. Look up BPD, borderline personality disorder. Woo! You ain't seen nothing yet. Okay? Look them up. Okay? It takes intensive therapy, in some cases 2-3 times a week in therapy, okay? And they may take a little medicine here or there to regulate some of the other issues they may deal with, like anxiety, depression, whatever it may be, that they may deal with. But ultimately, the personality disorder is not being treated with medicine, right? You can't. And they go to therapy, and they still don't change. They can be in it for years. Do you really want to sit in this person's life while they go through that change? If they don't get through to the other side of it, do you really want to sit around for that? I know that your love for this person, your compassion for this person makes you say, oh, I love them. I don't want any relationship with them, blah, 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 blah. But this is something we have to accept. No matter how much you love someone, that doesn't change how they're wired. No matter how much you love someone, that doesn't change the reality of who they are. Right? No matter how much you love someone, that doesn't make them a good person. We are not all born the same way. Some people are born with an ocean of compassion, an ocean of love, an ocean of empathy, an ocean of an ability to self-actualize and see their own flaws. And some people are born in a desert of that. They don't have it. They don't have it. So you're operating from an ocean of compassion and love and empathy and trust. And you're dealing with someone who literally is in an emotional desert. They don't have it. And even if you poured your ocean into them, because they're a desert, it will just evaporate. It's wasted effort. They can't change. I'm sorry to tell you it. Just because you love them, just because it's your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your auntie, your uncle, your grandfather, your husband, your child, that doesn't mean that they can change. This is so true. BPD, so people with borderline personality disorder, attempt to manipulate the therapist and are very difficult to work with. Boundaries are very important. Yes. Love them from afar. Love them spiritually. But you can't let them be close to you. I'm very serious about this. Okay? So I'm going to let y'all pontificate on this. Let it rest in your spirit. And just know this, that on the other side of accepting this, grieving the fact that this person was not there for you, grieving the fact that this person hurt you, grieving whatever it is you got to grieve about this relationship, on the other side of this is healing. You will heal. You will hurt, but you will heal. And that pain will turn to power. And when it turns to power, you will become such a healthier version of yourself. You will become more open to healthy relationships. You will become open to and a magnet to the type of people who are going to be able to come into your life and be able to, I don't want to say correct the trauma that you experience, because only you can do that, but they'll be able to show you that you deserve to be loved in a healthy way, that you deserve to be chosen, that you deserve to be protected, you deserve to be cared for. They will show you that. And when that happens, it will be just the next level of healing in your experience. See, here's the thing. Healthy relationships are a part of your healing process. But you can't get to those healthy relationships until you first grieve the relationships that are not healthy and detach from them at whatever level is necessary for those relationships to no longer have an unhealthy effect on your life. So you can then heal and open yourself to healthy relationships. That kind of relationship that you desire and deserve, you're not going to get access to as long as you're staying connected to these types of people. Some of y'all are not able to even maintain healthy romantic relationships, healthy friendships, healthy business relationships, whatever it may be, because of that narcissist, because of that person who victimized you, because of that person who you allow to have continued access to you. Because through that access to you, they continue to contaminate your mind to make you believe that you deserve that treatment. And because you believe that you deserve that treatment, or for that matter, because you let them have continued access to you, it affects your ability to trust other people. Because you still haven't accepted within your heart that that person who was supposed to protect you, who's supposed to have your back, who was supposed to stand by your side, didn't do it. In fact, they were one of the perpetrators who hurt you. Because you haven't fully accepted that within yourself and you still working on trying to heal that relationship, deep down what's happening inside of you is that you also now you struggle to trust people. Because deep down, what you believe is that, oh, if this person so close to me could betray me, then anybody could betray me. Therefore, I don't trust nobody. When the truth of the matter is, no, everybody's not going to betray you. This person is flawed. This person is fucked up. They are. This person may happen to be your spouse. This person may happen to be your parent. This person may happen to be your child. But they are not a reflection of the overall world and everyone in it. But until you allow yourself to feel your feelings about that person, you're going to project your feelings about that person onto everybody else. That's why you come across as jaded. That's why you come across as hard to love. That's why you come across as having trust issues. Because you haven't allowed yourself to fully accept that this person is just fucked up. So you projecting your feelings about this person onto everybody else. Now everybody else is getting the hurt and the pain and the distance that you should be giving to them. You shouldn't be distancing yourself from love and accepting love over there. You should be distancing yourself from this fucked up ass individual over here. You should not be denying yourself opportunities to trust new people. You should not be trusting them. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with that? When we learn to hold people accountable, even just within our own heart, even if we don't voice them, we can hold people accountable for what they did. We can then stop holding the world accountable for what that person did to us. All right? I'm going to put this on YouTube. Y'all go ahead and watch the replay over there. Dry your eyes, baby. I'm freeing you. I'm freeing you. You freeing yourself. Because you're going to take this and you're going to do something about it. All right, y'all. I love you. This is going to go on YouTube.